Hello, Gay. Good to see you today. Let me see. You don't have to introduce yourself to me, but as we're speaking to other people as well, would you be so kind to introduce yourself and to share your connection with Montessori Sports?
Sure. My name is Gay Wales and I'm principal at Melbourne Montessori School in Melbourne, Australia. We were the first school to, we were the pilot school to support Montessori sports in Australia, and I was very excited to do that. I'm very passionate about sport, keeping fit, and I was very impressed with the personnel and the presentations that I saw about Montessori sports. So I was very excited to do that.
Yeah, I believe it's been a bit over 2 years now.
Yeah, that would be right.
If my memory isn't failing, then I believe it was the 28th of February 2018 that I arrived on my bike, and we discussed our first plans actually, and that was term 1, and in term 2 we started with I believe only two after school programs, and now 2 years later we've managed to accomplish something, I guess, together. And let me see, because now we're doing 5 days a week, holiday programs, courses, and without Melbourne Montessori School that wouldn't have been possible. So we're still very grateful for your continuous support.
Well, it's been fabulous. It's been much bigger than I anticipated that it would become, but I know that the children at Melbourne Montessori just love those after-school programs. I was blown away by how many children you've got doing that. I know the parents love it, and I think it's really fantastic that we can support you spreading the word throughout the rest of Australia. Taking those courses to Western Australia, to Sydney, and so on. So look, I'm just thrilled that we've been part of it, and it's made a big difference in our school. It's great.
Yeah, hopefully more schools will follow your example. We're also here to discuss the consequences of COVID-19. That's why we're doing this online and not face-to-face offline. What are the personal consequences? How are you dealing now with COVID-19?
Sure. Well, initially it meant that I couldn't go to the UK to see my family in the Easter holidays, which I'd planned, and I have special friends and family friends that all the kids had grown up together. We had all these different plans, so they were out the window. As far as even with school goes, it means that I can't arrange a whole lot of different meetings. We have conferences and so on that we were looking forward to hosting at Melbourne Montessori. We can't do that anymore, of course. There's the head-to-head, which is a big principals meeting in Australia. I can't see the school improvements that have happened. I've been sent photos of the new fence out the front. Haven't seen it. We've got our new long daycare that's just about to getting to a point where it can be opened. There are lots of decisions to be made. It's hard to go and see it. Obviously, there's a lot of stress involved with changing the entire system that the school is running on, getting the teaching to be really top quality, amazing, challenging but fascinating, hands-on Montessori teaching and learning happening, from the 2-year-old program right through to the 18-year-olds. So, there's a lot of work. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. What do you think or hope that people will take out of this pandemic?
Look, I'm a complete optimist, so I feel that there's lots of opportunity to take some fantastic positives from this. We've heard how the environment has been benefited by so few human interaction, but I feel that it's a real chance for us all to slow down. I think that our lives were absolutely crazy speed. Sorry, that's not grammatical. I think that our lives were going at a ridiculously fast pace, and I think that it's no bad thing to slow down and to there's an English expression which is smell the roses, meaning just take in what's around you and just enjoy all of the smaller things that are actually incredibly important, and that I think we take a lot for granted. And this is something that I've been working with our Year 6 graduate students as to what are they taking, what do they feel they've taken for granted, and what, you know, how will that shift their thinking. So to me, I hope that people will really go back to those traditional values of all the basic things which are built into any Montessori school, grace and courtesy, but particularly family, friends, you know, things like board games and just interacting and being out in nature and getting exercise and lovely food, and, you know, just those really simple things which I've said but they're actually, you know, they are the most important. And I think that you realise that it's been an opportunity for us to see that having flashy cars or super duper, I don't know, all sorts of stuff, possessions, that's not what life's about. It really isn't. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to take stock and stop and have a think, reflect on how we want to go back to work, to our lives, to the future. I saw a marvellous cartoon which sort of said, when the young people were saying we need to change the world to save the planet, everybody said it's too hard. But as soon as we get something like coronavirus, COVID-19,
we can
overnight, we can change things if we have to. And so it shows that it's only about willingness. It's about motivation. And so I hope that lots of good will come out of this.
Yeah, now beautifully said. I of course I totally agree, and I also hope that once things have normalized again, that we still remember the things that we've learned over this period that we have experienced. All those little things that you've mentioned as well, that those little things are actually not so little as they seem. And I really hope that, as I said, that people will keep that in mind before we go back to our highest gear, that we don't always have to go 100 miles an hour, and that it's actually pretty nice to spend a bit more time at home doing nothing. The art of doing nothing, I would call it.
I haven't reached that point yet. I'm looking forward to doing nothing.
Makes sense. Well, I'm happy you're not doing nothing. That will be a problem, I guess, for all of us.
Yes. No, look, it's great. You know, even just working from home and being able to go into the garden, literally just for 3 minutes here or there, it's just fantastic. It makes such a difference to your day rather than sitting in an office or going into somebody else's office. And it's just lovely.
No, discovering and developing new skills. That's certainly a positive in this time. Well, you mentioned a bit of gardening. Are there other ways that you stay physically active, or that you things you do to stay mentally healthy as well?
Sure. Look. There's things that I think are really super important. You know, sleep. I just think that it's a much underrated commodity. I've always believed that we need lots of sleep, but I think that, you know, it's been great to be able to prioritize that. But I think that at this time we go back to some of the comfort things that we've always known, whether it's music that we've always loved, or as you say, being out in nature. Haven't really got much time. I look at the flowers, but haven't done much gardening. Even, you know, comfort food, books that we really enjoy or value. I think it's important to establish new routines. I'm a person that really loves variety, which is why my job suits me perfectly, because there is no day that is ever the same as any other day. But I think for sanity's sake, you need to have routines. And so, developed new routines. But I love going on my bike. I'm a big one for bike rides. I've found different routes and different ways that I can go. It's autumn here in Melbourne, so it's a beautiful time of year.
Absolutely.
So, I go along the River Yarra, which is beautiful, but it's very
I haven't come
Australian.
across you yet. Maybe I don't go far enough.
It's very, very busy. So I've also actually explored the back streets where there is actually nobody. And so this is where I get to see all the beautiful gardens with the lovely autumn colours and so on. And it's, just trying different things, but it's been lovely to get out riding my bike and walking too. I also enjoy walking at night by the river. There's just so many there are little micro bats, and I see owls, sometimes occasionally foxes. So
and the stars?
Definitely. And that super moon was just incredible.
Oh, that was last week, right? Was it?
Stunning, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I've seen it as well. It's indeed beautiful area, and as city-like as Melbourne is, you have this beautiful river going straight through it, and then you're in the, I wouldn't say jungle, but you're at least in a bit of wildlife in the city.
So that's where I live, is further out where I'm lucky. It's floodplain, so it's not, there aren't houses and so on. So, and you can just keep following it out. It's a very meandery river, so there's lots of space, and that's great.
I'll try to go a bit further up next time, and maybe.
I'll have to talk to you about where you go, because you can go right out to Warrandyte if you try.
If I try hard enough, well, we'll talk about it after the interview. Super. Well, thank you. On a last note, is there any quirky thing, maybe personal thing that you do that entertains you in these times?
But I spend a lot of time talking to my family. So my family, many of them are in the UK, lots of them are in America. Spend a lot of time FaceTime.
Time difference is tricky then.
Well, they're
Europe,
different.
America.
The UK is okay. It's not a problem. We've done a lot of Zoom meetings. We're actually working out how to play various games together. We haven't started that yet, but we're all keeping in very close contact. So that's probably, because I don't get a lot of time, I have to say. I've been working 16-hour days. I'm down to about 12-hour days now, which is great, but don't have a lot of free time.
No, then please make the free time count when you happen to come across it.
I will. I'm looking forward to it. I've got a list of things I want to do.
Well, one by one, hopefully, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
Thanks. Thank you.
That's all I can do now. Well, super gay. Appreciate your time. I know you're busy, so I'm gonna prepare my after-school class, and I'll catch up with you soon. And I can't wait to see everybody back at the school again.
Wonderful. Yep, looking forward to that too. Thanks a lot. Yep, we really appreciate everything you do.
Straight back at you. Bye-bye.
Bye.